this is Glover Teixeira, UFC light heavyweight champion.
Hi, I'm Robbie Lawler.
What's up, fight family? This is your favorite MMA coach, Thiago Alves, the Pitbull.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Pedro Munoz.
Mike Brown.
Guys, I am Alexei Olenek, and welcome.
Welcome
And this is wewantpicks.
You're watching We Want Picks.
to We Want Picks.
Welcome to We Want Picks.
To We Want Picks.
To We Want Picks.
Hi everybody from American Top Teams.
What's going on, guys? My name is Jacob and welcome to We Want Picks. Today I am doing not quite a full card breakdown, just some fights that caught my eye. If you're looking for the full fight card breakdown with some real in-depth analysis by Angelo, check out the video he uploaded yesterday, I believe. He broke down the entire card. So usually it's me and Angelo and Dan breaking down fights. Today, Angelo let me off the leash, let me have a little bit fun. So if you guys enjoyed this video, hit the like button down below. If you're new and this is fun, subscribe. And let's get right into it. First off, let me give a little bit of disclaimer here because there's been some comments in the past from my breakdowns that I can be a little bit biased. Sometimes I have a favorite fighter. Sometimes there's a girl that I think is attractive and people think that I'm giving not quite a straight breakdown, right? They think I'm being biased, think I'm favoring one fighter. Let me just say that this channel means everything to me, all right? And this channel is my future. This channel means so much to me and my family, my future family, my future wife, my future kids with my future wife. If you think I would jeopardize my integrity, my trustworthiness to break down fights just because I like somebody or think somebody's attractive, it's just ridiculous and it needs to stop. The comments need to stop. I am a straight arrow. I'm going to give it to you straight whether I like the fighter or not. Let's get into the breakdowns. The first fight I want to talk about is my man, Ryan Hall versus, what's his name? D-A-R-R-I-C. That is not how you spell Darrick. Ryan Hall versus Darrick Minner. And I know, I'm going to get a lot of crap in the comments for Ryan Hall versus Ilia Topuria. And guess what? If you put a negative comment about Ryan Hall in the chat, you're banned. You're banned. That's just what it is. It's my video. There's no Angelo here. There's no Dan here. You're banned. I'm sorry. Do not disparage the wizard. But on a real note, guys, that was actually a lot of people, that was probably like their first Ryan Hall experience, and they just see him rolling around like an idiot and eventually get knocked out thinking, what the hell is this guy doing? That was the first time Ryan Hall's ever been knocked out. So that's not like a constant thing where he just kind of rolls around. If you look at his fights, you know, that Darren Elkins fight was a 3-round decision. He outstruck Darren 40-31, but he outstruck Darren Elkins. He's outstruck a few people to decision. It's not Ryan Hall's submission or bust. He can outstrike people. The guy trains with Stephen Thompson. His kicks are, I don't want to say unstoppable, but he just throws kick after kick after kick normally, just waiting for you to catch one. And if you catch one and try and take him down, guess what? You're getting submitted. That's what makes Ryan Hall so good that people don't understand. And when I say that he is this is for Mackenzie Dern too. Mackenzie Dern and Ryan Hall. They are the Francis Ngannou of the ground. Meaning, if you strike with Francis Ngannou, you're probably going to get knocked out. There's a good chance you're going to get knocked out. If you go to the ground with Mackenzie Dern or Ryan Hall, unless you're Ilia Topuria doing, you know, I think he cheated. You're not really supposed to hit people like that. You go to the ground with Mackenzie Dern and Ryan Hall, you will get submitted. So Ryan Hall's going to come into this fight. If you're Darrick Minner, D-A-R-R-I-C-K, Darrick. If you're Darrick Minner, what do? Do you crowd him? Because if you crowd him, he's going to do something weird and get you to the ground. Are you going to keep your distance because you're going to get outstruck and outpointed to a decision loss? Or Darrick Minner, what does he do best? Wrestles. If you try and wrestle Ryan Hall, you're going to get submitted. If you're a dominant wrestler that can control positions, you can probably maybe out-wrestle Ryan Hall to a decision. Darrick Minner is a community college wrestler who works for submissions, right? He's not a dominant wrestler controlling positions. He's working for submissions. I think he's got like 20-something submission wins. And I don't want to be that guy. But if you look at Darrick Minner's losses, I know Angelo hates this. When you just go to Tapology, look, oh, this guy submits people, this guy loses. But look at these losses. Submission loss, submission loss, submission loss, submission loss, decision loss, submission loss, submission loss, submission loss, submission loss. Case closed. I like Ryan Hall. I think Darrick Minner's going to come in, try to prove a point, first round, get submitted. I like Ryan Hall, first round submission, easy peasy. That's my boy. The Wizard gets it done. Lock of the week. Let me know in the comments if you agree. The next fight that caught my eye is Pedro Munoz versus Dominic Cruz. And Dominic Cruz, how much fun is this dude to watch? Even that Cody Garbrandt fight, just seeing Dominic Cruz move around the ring, that the uppercuts from his knees at different angles is so much fun to watch. Pedro Munoz is probably one of the most technical fighters you'll ever see in striking and on the ground. Dominic Cruz, I kind of mentioned it in the last breakdown. It feels like he's starting to lose that step. He's 36 years old. That jerky movement, when you're relying on head movement and you really start slowing down, it's starting to become an issue. But the thing that Dominic Cruz has that people forget is wrestling. This dude is a fantastic wrestler, and you saw it in the Casey Kenny fight. I don't remember how many takedowns he got, but he went to the wrestling. It was jerky movement to get the takedowns, to get to the legs, to win the fight. This guy, his fight IQ, and you've heard that from other fighters as well, talking about Dominic Cruz, that his fight IQ is just off the charts. He knows what to do in every situation. I think he knows that his movement is getting a little bit slower, so he's starting to rely on the wrestling a little bit more. Here's the issue, right? Pedro Munoz on the ground is nasty. Nasty on the ground. Dominic Cruz is good wrestling. Obviously, his jiu-jitsu is good. It's not Pedro Munoz good, right? So if Dominic Cruz starts getting hit, which I think he will versus Pedro Munoz, and he goes to the grappling and he goes to the wrestling, he's got to control positions. He's got to control positions. He can't look for submissions. He can't really even look for TKOs. If I'm Dominic Cruz and I'm trying to reinvent myself and try to run up the rankings to get that title shot again, you just got to win fights, okay? You don't have to be flashy anymore. You're not a young up-and-comer. Everyone knows who you are. So get the takedowns, okay, and control positions. The other issue is Pedro Munoz is not easy to take down. If you look through his fights, even Frankie was 2 of 8 on takedowns versus Pedro Munoz. The thing that Dominic Cruz, I think, is going to help him with the takedowns is that they're going to come from weird angles, right? He's going to be doing some weird stuff and come from weird angles that might surprise Pedro. But on the ground, do not be surprised if Pedro Munoz submits Dominic Cruz when he's trying to shoot for a takedown, whether it's in a scramble, whether it's just a guillotine jumps on his neck. I think that Dominic Cruz is going to come in grapple heavy. I think Pedro Munoz is going to be ready for it. I like Pedro Munoz by submission in this fight. I'll say late second round. We'll get kind of wild with it. The next fight I want to break down is Josh Emmett versus Dan Ige. Dan Ige is my guy. I love Dan Ige. Not as much as Ryan Hall, but I'm a big Dan Ige fan. He's a good striker. He's a great wrestler. Damn, I don't like this matchup for him. Josh Emmett, I think in this fight, it's going to be grappling. I think if it's striking, Dan's going to struggle. I think if it's just straight grappling, I think Dan's got the advantage. But in the wrestling, I'm worried, right? Because Dan Ige, while he's a 145er, he's like more of a natural 145er, where Josh Emmett has been at 155 before. And in wrestling exchanges, I'm worried about Ige getting kind of out-muscled in those positions. You kind of saw that against Korean Zombie, right? Dan Ige on his back. I think he really struggled as well, being a 5-round fight. I think that was a second 5-round fight. But I think as it went to the 3rd, 4th, 5th round, you really saw Korean Zombie start to turn up the pace, and Dan Ige starting to fade just a little bit. This is only 3 rounds. I think that favors Dan Ige. Another thing that I like about Dan Ige in this fight is his guard, right? So if he does get taken down by Josh Emmett, his guard is active. You saw that in the beginning when Korean Zombie took him down in the 1st or 2nd round. Dan Ige, he was getting his butterfly guard back. He was throwing up submissions. He was striking from the bottom. Unfortunately, on your back, no matter how active you are, judges do not like that. So in this fight, I think that Josh Emmett is going to be my pick in this fight. I think that in the striking, it's going to be kind of a stalemate. I think Josh Emmett's going to have the power, even though we just saw Dan Ige with that flash knockout 2 fights ago. I just like Josh Emmett in this fight to be able to control the positions a little bit better. I mentioned in the last fight with Dominic Cruz, he's got to control positions. In this fight, Josh Emmett, I think he's going to be able to get the takedowns, maybe even get some reversals if Dan Ige tries offensive grappling and be able to control those positions a little bit better. Watch out for Dan Ige's guard, right? Something could happen a little bit late. I like that 3 rounds is going to favor Dan Ige a little bit more. Dan Ige, you're my boy. But I like Josh Emmett in this fight, kind of in like a boring decision because Dan Ige is tough as hell. So I like Josh Emmett in this fight. Boring decision. There's a reason Josh Emmett is a 165 favorite, and I think that's it. I think he's just going to be the bigger guy. I think he's going to be a little bit more physical than Dan Ige, and he's going to give something for the judges to score this. Probably maybe 29-28, but probably a 30-27 boring decision. Sugar Sean O'Malley, Julian Paiva. You know, I really want to jump on this Paiva train. I like Sugar Sean. I think Paiva is going to be kind of a trendy pick because he is tough as hell. He's never been put away, even though Kyler Phillips in that last fight was real close in that first round. But Paiva came back and won that fight. I don't think he actually won that fight. I'm a Kyler Phillips fan, but he came back and won that split decision fight and got some takedowns in the second round. I think he's just got to be careful. I just don't think that he's... Going into this, I wanted to pick Paiva, right? I just don't think he's going to be sharp enough. I think that Sean's going to come out in that first round and look to really put away Paiva. And you saw Kyler Phillips almost do it. And Sugar Sean is a much better striker. No offense, Kyler Phillips is a much better striker than Kyler Phillips. He's just so precise. I think no matter what Paiva tries to do, Sean's going to have an answer for it. Unless Paiva comes in and is able to get an early takedown, that's the only chance I see Paiva having is come in, just shoot for the legs, try to get that takedown and just wear Sean down. Because you see, if he gets into trouble, I don't want to say that he'll break, but it seems like he will break. So if you can just extend this fight, extend it, get it to the ground, extend it, and maybe jump on him late second, start pushing the pace in the third, you might have an outside chance. But Sugar Sean, he is just so precise, and he has real power in his hands when he lands on the chin. So I'm going Sugar Sean here. I like him almost probably in the first round to get a first round knockout, one of those highlight Sugar Sean matchups. But if Paiva can get an early takedown, get some gas out of Sugar Sean, I think he can win an ugly decision. I don't think he's going to knock out Sugar Sean. You know, maybe gets him to the ground, TKOs him, but I can't go against my guy Sean O'Malley. I'm going Sugar Sean all the way, first round KO. That's my pick on that fight. Let's get to the co-main event: Amanda Nunes versus Juliana Pena. And yeah, this fight's probably gonna go the way everybody thinks it's gonna go. It's Amanda Nunes, one of the most dominant fighters, male or female, we have ever seen. With that being said, Juliana Pena, only a plus 600, is interesting. I think she's probably going to be a trendy pick. I'll be honest, when I was about to break this fight down, I told myself I'm going to pick Juliana Pena just in case, right? Just so I could be that guy. Everyone wants to be that guy where they're like, oh, I knew it all along. I'm picking Amanda Nunes, but I will say, it'll be very interesting to see how Amanda Nunes plays this. I think that she's going to come in and grapple heavy, because if you've seen Julia Pena on the ground, decent, but Amanda Nunes is next level with her wrestling and her jiu-jitsu. If I'm Amanda Nunes, I would just take Juliana Pena down and wouldn't even mess with the striking, because the difference is Juliana Pena, a lot of girls come in and say they're not scared of Amanda. When Juliana Pena is talking, I believe her that she's not scared. I think that she's going to come forward and try to get Amanda's respect early. And the biggest thing about Juliana Pena is she doesn't throw a lot of looping stuff. Because if you try and throw looping stuff versus Amanda, she's going to come straight down the pipe or throw looping stuff much faster and much harder than you can. Juliana Pena, when she strikes, it's a lot of just straight, right? So if Amanda comes in, blitzes forward, and is trying to get an early knockout and is starting to loop, if Juliana Pena is right there, you might see the first couple exchanges, Amanda Nunes kind of head snapping back if she's getting a little loopy with those shots. If I'm Amanda Nunes, I wouldn't even mess around. I would just take her down, grind her, work for submission. If you're Juliana Pena, you got to get respect early, right? No, Amanda Nunes doesn't, I don't want to say she doesn't respect anyone, but she knows, right? Nobody's on her level. You got to come in, you got to march forward, you got to bite down on that mouthpiece, but just throw straight shots, right? If you start trying to just knock her out, you saw what happened in Cyborg, you're just going to get knocked out yourself. You just got to keep it nice and tight, eat her up with jabs, and try to make this just a boring, just touch her up, maybe bloody her nose, maybe get something for the judges to look at, get her to panic a little bit. I just don't think it's going to happen, right? I'm going Amanda Nunes all the way. You know, I'm not going to put money on the minus 900. I don't love it that much, but if you do it, more power to you. I like Amanda Nunes probably in the second round. Juliana Pena's tough, but I'm going to take second round submission. That's my pick for this fight. Amanda Nunes all the way. The main event, UFC 269, Charles Oliveira versus Dustin Poirier. This one's going to be so much fun. I'm not going to do a ton of breakdown on this fight. I think it's honestly going to be one of the best fights of the year. I will say the key to this fight, honestly, is going to be kicks. And I think it's going to be Charles Oliveira's kicks because Dustin Poirier is such a good boxer and such a good counter striker. And Charles Oliveira doesn't care if the fight goes to the ground, right? I wouldn't be surprised if they start dirty boxing, if Charles Oliveira even starts to try and pull guard. That's how comfortable he is on the ground. So with that said, if you're trying to stay out of Dustin's boxing range, right, and you're not scared to go to the ground, and we've seen Charles Oliveira throw kicks before, especially I think in that Tony Ferguson fight. You saw it in the Michael Chandler fight. He knocked Michael Chandler down with a leg kick. I think it's going to be a lot of leg kicks. I think it's going to be a lot of front kicks. I think he's not even going to be scared to throw a lot of head kicks because I think he's just waiting and hoping that Dustin tries to catch one, tries to go to the ground, and then Oliveira can do what he does best. He's a very, very good striker, but his jiu-jitsu is just off the chart. So in my mind, for Dustin to win this fight, he has to stay patient. He has to just pick his spots, and when it's time to get dirty, he's got a dirty box. He's got to be the aggressor, though, right? He's got to have Oliveira up against the cage. If he's trying to dirty box, if he backs himself against the cage and tries a dirty box, Oliveira's going to be there. He's probably going to get the takedown, or he's just going to piece you up with his length against the cage. So if you're Dustin Poirier, you got to be patient. You got to keep circling. You got to just eat some kicks. And the second you get a chance to pounce, you got to really throw those combos and throw those combos hard and hope that you can clip him. You saw Michael Chandler clip him a little bit. You have your opportunities. I think Dustin's better in the boxing. I think Charles is maybe slightly better in the kickboxing just because of his length. Obviously, in the wrestling, it's probably Charles Oliveira at this point, and then the jiu-jitsu, it's Charles Oliveira. So if you're Dustin, you got to stay patient, you got to keep circling, and you just got to wait for your moments. If you get a little bit impatient and a little overzealous, you're going to get caught, you're going to get taken down, and you might get submitted. So my pick for this fight, it's close, and I hate picking against Dustin. I like Dustin as a fighter, as a person. He's so much fun to watch, but I'm picking Charles Oliveira. I'm going to go third round. I'm going to go submission. I'm going to go third round submission. I think, is that when Khabib submitted Dustin? Anyway, I'm going to go third round submission, Charles Oliveira, although I'll probably be rooting for Dustin. I think it's going to be a great, great fight. I think kicks for Charles Oliveira is the key to this fight. So my pick is Charles Oliveira, third round submission. So that's my short little breakdown of UFC 269 on behalf of We Want Picks. I want to thank you guys for watching. If you guys like this, if you guys had some fun, don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you're new. I want to thank Angela for letting me do this, let me upload this. I had fun doing this. It was just kind of a short little breakdown for you guys that way you could get my voice in here too. Hopefully I'll be back with him maybe tonight, but definitely for Friday's videos. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I'm out.